0 on the road. They're tied for top spot in their division with the Eagles. Last night, did the Cowboys prove that they're not the same old Cowboys? Skip Bayless.
Stephen A. Smith, how about my Dallas Cowboys? How about Tony Romo in the fourth quarter clutch? How about my Cowboy defense in the second half against a red-hot, crazy-hot Eli Manning? To answer Carrie's question, yes, yes, yes. Once again last night, my Cowboys proved they are not the same old 8-8 Dallas Cowboys. 8-8, 8-8, 8-8. They are now the brand new 8-3 Dallas Cowboys. And as Carrie pointed out, they are now 5-0 on the road. And as I'm going to drive home on today's show, they have now won 5 of the last 6 against your New York Football Giants. But I'm going to be honest, because I'm always objective about my Dallas Cowboys today. I must admit, under the early circumstances, the first half circumstances last night, I seriously began to doubt that my Dallas Cowboys could come back and pull that game out. Why was that? Because good Eli showed up, and I thought he would show up. I said on the show Friday, he's capable of going from 5 interceptions against the 49ers to 5 touchdown passes against my Dallas Cowboys, because we know what a rivalry this is and what one shot it was for your Giants to win a quote-unquote playoff game against their arch rival. And it was under the circumstance of Odell Beckham Jr. having a Manhattan-style, a Broadway-style coming-out party with, and we're about to debate or discuss this, the greatest catch ever, as many people are calling it. So I thought that after Eli, late in the game, took his team once again 93 yards for the 28-24 touchdown, I was about to give up on my Cowboys because I thought they were in the wrong place at the wrong time. And what happened? My offensive line took the football game over, and Tony Romo took his team 80 yards for the winning touchdown. And Rod Marinelli's defense rose up again on the final Giants possession and stopped Eli just short of a first down and ended the game on 4th down. That was 4 times in the second, well, actually 5 times in the second half. They stopped Eli when in the first half they could not stop him. So yes, under the circumstances last night, I thought it was the best sign yet that my Cowboys are legit, that they will last, that they will win the NFC East, and they will beat the Philadelphia Eagles on Thanksgiving Day at Jerry World. Come on in, Mark Sanchez. We're waiting for you.
Well, I will reserve my judgment, Skip Bayless, until I see them perform against the Philadelphia Eagles on Thanksgiving Day and possibly the week after. But I will acknowledge that if I was tempted to sit there and say that the Dallas Cowboys are not the same Dallas Cowboys team, it wouldn't be because of Tony Romo. It wouldn't even be because of DeMarco Murray. It certainly wouldn't be because of Jason Garrett. It wouldn't be because of Rod Marinelli. It would be because of that mammoth offensive line. I mean, those last 2 plays by Tony Romo to clinch the game before he connected with Des Bryant on that 13-yard hookup to close the deal. Tony Romo had all day. I mean, he ordered something from the concession stand. He made a call to his wife. He wished his child good night. He sat there and called a few buddies. He did everything you could possibly do in terms of lollygag and take his sweet old time before he threw that touchdown pass, because the New York Giants could apply absolutely no pressure whatsoever on Tony Romo. That, to me, was the story, because for me, regardless of all the things that I saw, the protection that he was provided when it counted most was absolutely surreal to me. I just couldn't believe how potent that offensive line was. I know they're massive. I know about Fredericks. I know about, Free. I know about all of these guys. I mean, Martin and all of them. The offensive line, listen, this is what with Tyron Smith. Yeah. Yes, Jerry Jones sat up there a couple of years ago, and I'll give Tony Romo credit for this, Skip Bayless. He begged Jerry Jones and insisted, get me some protection. Focus on the offensive line. Don't go out there and get another receiver. Don't go out there and get another running back. Don't do this. Don't do this. Just get us that offensive line together. Get it buffered, get it together, and we'll be just fine. And that's exactly what transpired, and that's exactly why the Dallas Cowboys are successful. Their defense is better than we anticipated. It did not help, however, that Eli Manning missed a wide-open Preston Parker because he threw it too high, too hard, and ultimately it got tipped into the hands of Church, who returned it about 48 yards. That certainly was a big-time mistake by Eli Manning. He seems to make those continuously, and that's why he doesn't seem to be the same Eli Manning to me. The Giants, for a second year in a row on a 6-game losing streak. I don't think that Tom Coughlin is coming back after this. I'm not sure Eli Manning is going to come back after this. I don't know what the future holds for the New York Giants, but changes clearly need to be made. In the end, however, this is not the same Dallas Cowboys team because of that offensive line. If you're asking me about other personnel, I would make that argument to you all day until the cows come home. But the offensive line changes the complexion of this team, or at least it should, in everybody's eyes. The Dallas Cowboys, as far as I'm concerned, has the best offensive line in football, and that is the reason that they are so successful right now.
So wait a second. Do I hear you coming around on my Dallas Cowboys? You're starting to believe almost as much as I believe?
No, I wouldn't go that far. That's ridiculous. I'll never believe as much as you believe, because even though you only say, see, you have to understand, I know you and I know how slick and duplicitous you can be.
Oh.
The fact of the matter is you'll say I just said they're going to win the division. I said they're going to make the playoffs. But in your heart of hearts, you believe they're going all the way to the Super Bowl. You just don't want to tell America.
No, I
so
have
what
not
I'm saying,
spoken one word about that.
I just finished saying that you have not spoken.
Nope, sorry.
I just finished saying you have not spoken it. I just finished saying that you haven't said it, but I know you well enough to know what you believe. So when you say, I believe what you believe, no, because I know you. But I will acknowledge to you that I do believe they're destined for the playoffs, and I think this offensive line is a difference maker. Make no mistake about it. I truly, truly believe that.
I think they're destined for a home playoff game because they are going to win the NFC East, as I've been saying since the preseason, when we made our preseason predictions.
Right.
So, I want to put you on record right away. Are you still saying, I just got to get you on record, are you still saying the Eagles
will win the
better?
division?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say they're better, Skip, because Mark Sanchez is their quarterback. He's the backup, and Nick Foles is not in there, and D'Amico Ryans is out. I'm not going to say they're better. I'm just not going to get off my prediction that they will win the NFC East. I still believe it, but I would like you to keep this in mind, Skip. Keep this in mind, Kerry Champion. You have to hold his feet to the fire on this, because I've been very, very consistent. It doesn't matter to me when. It could be in a final regular season game. It could be in a playoff game. It could be in the Super Bowl, Skip Bayless.
Good, I'll take that.
All I'm saying to you is the biggest moment that arises
I will take
for the
it.
Dallas Cowboys.
I will.
They will collapse. They will fold. I don't know when.
I would make
but
that
it will
deal
happen.
with the devil right now, with Mephistopheles. I would
That's all
make
I'm
this
saying.
deal. I would say,
Let's keep that in mind.
If you will give me the Super Bowl,
They can be an accident.
I will take Tony Romo having an accident late in the Super Bowl if they have a chance to win the Super Bowl.
Right.
I would give that up. I would give that up.
Yeah.
I would make that deal right now.
Whatever leads to Dallas Cowboy fans truly having their heart broken will happen with this team. That's all I've said.
Before we go to the next topic.
Yes.
Because you are Stephen Naismith and you did invent the game of basketball, I must ask you about what I thought was the turning point play in this football game late in the third quarter with 3:29 left. Young Mr. Beckham catches a ball on the sideline, gets driven out of bounds by Barry Church. A flag flies. Here it is. Whoops. Barry Church, flag flies. And what does the head referee suddenly announce? He flopped. I've never heard of this in an NFL game.
Who flopped?
Beckham flopped. He got called for flopping. Stephen A., have you ever heard of this? Because in all my years covering the NFL, I've never heard of an NFL player get busted for flopping. And the flag was rescinded, and they were stuck at the 18-yard line. And by the way, just to finish, 2 plays later, Eli he made the one big mistake in this game that you referred to, the tip pass that he just overthrew to Preston Parker. So if you give them that penalty, half the distance to the goal line, I'm not sure he's going to overthrow Preston Parker from the 9-yard line.
Maybe so, but the reality is he did, because he's continuously done it. He's had 3 awful games, even though last night wasn't so awful. But that was a pivotal mistake that I believe cost them the game. They get that in there. They get in the end zone on that play. I think the Giants win this game. But let's also understand this. I do believe that to some degree Odell Beckham flopped. I definitely believe that it was accurate, but it doesn't negate the fact that the penalty should not have been rescinded, and it should have been called because he was out of bounds when he got hit. Now, he extended his arm and dropped and whatever. I think he would have fell anyway, but the way he extended his arm is how he gave away the fact that he was flopping, but it doesn't negate the fact that he was hit when he was out of bounds, and as far as I'm concerned, it is something that should have been called, and it should not have been rescinded.
All I know is I love this non-call, and I love the new trend because I don't like to see flopping, and we've had several key instances of flopping. I love it that finally a ref stepped up and said, no,
knock it off.
I'm not going to buy it. Yeah. Sorry.
Cowboys are trying to win the NFC East for the first time since 2009. Stephen A. says the accident will happen in the biggest moment. We must hold Skip accountable for that. You're okay with the accident happening in the Super Bowl, though?
Yeah, late.